Hello, beautiful sister. Welcome to Inner Alchemy Journey. My name is Elena, and I am delighted to be your guide on this transformative and joyful path. So, the fact that you're here tells me that you are ready to create relationships based in love, pleasure, and true intimacy and devotion. So this program is based mainly on two principles. So first one, and it's the main one, is the inner work, is rewiring a subconscious mind. As you probably already know, as it's inside, so it's the outside, right? So we manifest not what we want consciously, but what we are. So, in order to attract, magnetize that relationship your heart truly desires, we need to look inside. We need to see what what patterns are still running our lives. What are we ready to let go? And also, what is that original love blueprint? What is the divine love? The one that our souls actually came here with, and it has been kind of polluted with, inherited programs, patterns by society, parents, caregivers, ancestors, maybe past lives, who knows what. There is so much that influences us here as humans. However, as a consciousness rising at this point of our evolution, we are ready to take full responsibility for our lives and for how much joy, love, pleasure, fulfillment we experience in this life. So this is what this course is about. We are going to rewire the subconscious mind with practices like sacred union within, so the practice of inner union, which I'll explain in detail a little bit later. And the second part of this program will be kind of like it's almost like a dating tutorial, because the dating, modern dating, is a bit confusing, right? To say a little. And I will actually explain you how it can be really fun, that it doesn't have to be confusing at all, that it can be totally enjoyable, and not just enjoyable, but it actually lead you to the experience, to the relationship, to marriage, to engagement, whatever your heart truly desires, very effectively. So we are going to explore principles of modern dating, uh, in order to also help you with that, the external part of this journey. But again, the main part is that inner work. And with the inner work, we'll be doing practices to really raise our consciousness and really connect to that loving consciousness state, connect to our higher self. So we'll be using Kundalini yoga techniques and kriyas. We'll be diving into different type of guided meditations, dance, sensual dance, exploration of the divine feminine, and different feminine archetypes will be part of it as well. So really connecting through some tantric practices, Tao practices, with our sensual and sexual energy, how we can use it for healing and manifesting what we want in our lives. What other? And so yes, as I mentioned, we'll be learning some dating principles, and they are based in biology, psychology, evolution. So they're also based in science as well as spirituality. You will actually realize that they don't contradict each other, they go hand in hand with it. All right, now let me explain you a little bit about the sacred union, what I mean by that. So the sacred union within, meaning that inner union of masculine and feminine energies, those original love container or love union that we all have within ourselves. In all traditions, and probably the most known ones that you've heard of, like the Tao and Yin and Yang, which correspond with masculine and feminine, or if we look into Hinduism and other like tantric teachings, we can talk about Shiva and Shakti, and those energies we are really going to explore in this course. So Shiva and Shakti, divine masculine and divine feminine. So it doesn't have to relate to any religion really. But those are the main principles after that unity, after that oneness, which we also have access to. But those two main forces that constantly create life, so both of them are needed for the experience of life and for the creation, is those divine masculine and divine feminine. And they are within us. So divine masculine principles and qualities, it's not just abstract principles. These are qualities that are within us. So the masculine, first of all, it's stillness. It's that cosmic stillness, that cosmic consciousness, the nothingness. It's that awareness. So think about this very peaceful, very clear state of mind where you can just be in and observe. It's very still. Most of the meditation practices teach us of this divine masculine principle of stillness and awareness. So that's what it is, that witness consciousness that we connect with, especially while doing practices like yoga and meditation, that gives us direct access to the divine masculine. And what the divine masculine does, it contains, it holds, it protects, it provides. Think about the strength of your spine, the length of your spine, your structure. So if you think about river and riverbanks, so the riverbanks would be the masculine that provides structure, the containment. And then divine feminine, let's talk about Shakti energy. Everything in life, all of the life force, all of the manifestation of life, this is the divine feminine. She is always flowing, always expanding, always dancing, always changing. And that's the main principle of feminine energy. She is this sensuality, this joy, the open senses, the pleasure. She has so many different expressions. It's not just laughter, it's also tears, it's also rage, and it's also joy. So all of that is divine feminine, and it's held within the divine masculine. So they actually interplay, they dance together in this beautiful dance of creation. And when we rewire our blueprint that we're born with, that we inherited with during our lifetime as well, when we rewire it to this original love story, you will notice how everything changes, how you feel different. First of all, you can experience your own, that masculine container, and you can feel a lot more confidence, that stability, that inner structure, that inner peace, the kind of you got your own back. So that's the divine masculine within yourself, and that's extremely important to cultivate before we actually attract the relationships we want. Because remember, life cannot show us or bring us what we are not. And then when we have that strength of the masculine that holds us, that hold ourselves, then we can really relax even more into the divine feminine principle. We can really relax into our flow, into our pleasure. We can allow ourselves to be that flirtatious, sensual, laughing, life-loving feminine. And when a masculine really holds us, it gives us that sense of safety and comfort that really is needed for the feminine to relax and flow in all her beauty, and constantly keep expanding and keep creating more and keep inspiring the masculine into more as well. That's how it works. The feminine then inspires masculine, and masculine rise up to that challenge. He steps up and he loves it and she loves it. So that in couple sentences how that divine inner union works. Yes, so in this course I prepared lots of delicious practices for you. As I said, we'll dive into some tantric practices, in some Tao practices that gets us that access to our own energies, so we'll understand how to work with the feminine energies, how to work with the masculine, how to create the constant flow of them, how to really be in power of those energies. So we'll talk about microcosmic orbit and opening the receptive channel. So many beautiful practices, and we'll also do a more like Western uh, psychotherapeutic practices like journaling and connecting with the inner child and inner adult part of us as well. All right, my dear. So you are up for a nice treat and a beautiful journey that my heart feels will get you into that beautiful relationship your heart truly desires. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you soon.